What's up, family? I'd like to read a little passage to you from Swami Chetanananda from the Breath of God about to the degree that you want to grow. We all appear in this world as different patterns of energy arising out of a larger field. Another way to put it would be to say that we are each one vibration of energy among many vibrations of that same energy. Each of those vibrations operating at different frequencies gives the impression of having a separate existence and a distinct appearance. And this leads us to take the apparent differences seriously and to imagine that everything truly is distinct and separate. The energy patterns that emerge from within us, that we are, along with the ones that arise around us from our participation in the larger energy field, not only gives rise to the appearance of separation in meow, meow, and not only gives rise to the appearance of separation in the first place, but also tends to reinforce it. When we encounter other vibrations of the energy, then we think that we are experiencing friction with the people and situations in our lives. We don't usually think of it as energy meeting itself in a different form. Instead, we're convinced that real limits and real boundaries not only exist, but that they need protecting. So the issue of limitations arise. Then we get really fancy and come up with the notion that because we have these limits, we also have problems. We struggle with these problems. We think about them and analyze them and psychoanalyze them. Yet oddly enough, the more we struggle with the things about our existence and appearance that differ from those of others, or from that which we imagine those of others to be, the more powerful these differences and distinctions and limits seem to become. Because of the way we nurture, nature, cultivate, reinforce, and develop these limits, we suffer more and more. And why not? They're what we've been cultivating, so why shouldn't they become stronger? Clearly this doesn't work. Clearly the whole thrust to analyze and to intellectualize the unique aspects of the appearance part of what we are not in any way going to satisfy the long-term need that we have to get beyond these appearances. The solution is to begin to pull our attention away from all the analysis and intellectualization of these distinctions and to begin to withdraw our attention into the very source of this appearance and to cultivate our awareness of its essence. Instead of intellectualizing about the source or the essence, we cultivate our understanding and our living contact with it, which gives rise to an expansion within that field of energy and vitality. This we call growth. It is growing that lifts us up out of the realm of appearance and limitation. It takes our attention and our energy away from those limits and away from those boundaries. We literally pull energy away from the boundaries and put it in motion as a kind of evolutionary force. This slowly but surely dissolves the limits as we transcend our understanding of the apparition that we in all things are, the apparition. As we transcend our understanding of the apparition that we in all things are, our understanding of the essential nature of our life begins to expand and unfold. We begin to live in the powerful certainty of the nature of the inner self, which is itself completely uncertain. So I am suggesting to you that growing is really the answer to the problems of pain, suffering, and disappointments. The point I want to make is that we grow to the degree that we want to grow. That's simple enough. But wanting to grow is not just something that wafts casually through our minds once a week or once a day when we come to meditation. It must become an ongoing, living reality. In the Bible it says, "Ask and you shall receive." And I don't think they were joking. It is the depth from which we want this growth that makes it begin to take place. Think of a tree or of any living event that emerges from within itself. It is the degree to which it obeys its inner commitment to unfold a certain pattern that enables it to overcome all of the resistance and obstacles in the environment, and to demonstrate itself as a vast and vital manifestation of the energy of life itself. And in the same way, that extent to which we are connected with that living inner force, in the extent to which we usually charge, is the extent to which we usually change and grow spiritually. The essential idea here is that we grow to the degree we want to grow. We grow to the degree that we mobilize the resources that we may not even know we have at the moment, but because we deeply want to grow, because we have this deep passion for knowing God, because we have this deep love of life and love for God, then that love itself becomes a living event within us. It demonstrates every kind of potential to overcome obstacles, to overcome barriers, to move mountains. It certainly allows us to discover within ourselves vast and unrecognized treasures. The stories of many great saints in India, as well as the whole of the bhakti traditions of great devotion, are based on this understanding of the deep, deep desire to know God, a desire we have to cultivate. In cultivating it, countless extraordinary capabilities organize themselves within us and manifest for the purpose of our liberation and our fulfillment. This deep desire should this deep desire should, in a way, make a person into something of a fanatic. Not however a closed-minded fanatic, not a fanatic full of judgment about others. This desire should make us fanatics only in the sense that we dedicate ourselves totally to attaining the deepest understanding possible to a human being, and to being relaxed and open in the process of doing so. At times, we will be almost on fire with the awareness of our desire for growth and the intensity of this process of loving God and being loved by God. In a way, it hums and consumes us, and that's a good thing. Then there are other times when we are deeply relaxed and at peace within ourselves. At times, there emerges a kind of dynamic tension between the two, which at first happens in cycles. For a while, we are very much on fire. Then for a while, we are very much not. As we grow, the two cycles gradually converge and become one, so that we are completely relaxed and at peace and flowing within ourselves and within the world. At the same time, we are completely on fire with the awareness of the divine, and completely on fire with the participation in love, which is the essence of life itself. What does this have to do with problems? Thinking about problems doesn't solve them. Getting above them 99% of the time allows them simply to evaporate, or at least for us to dispatch them with the simplest of effort. What remains in front of us may be only a small amount of what we had thought of as our problem. It also may represent the largest amount of work we have to do, real work, but at least we have burned off the fog and gotten rid of all the illusory programs that were causing us to chase our tail. Then we can begin to deal in a simple and direct way with the real work that we have to do in this life in order to give expression to the potential that exists within us for our own fulfillment. I want to reinforce that I am not saying we should simply ignore the various difficulties we encounter in our environment. I am not saying that we should ignore anything. I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't want to be misunderstood on this point. I am saying that most of the things we think are problems are not, and most of the difficulties we have to face in our lives are structural, are of no significance whatsoever, and evaporate when we come to deal with them. What I'm saying specifically is that before attempting to solve any problems or relate to any difficulties, first we must take it inside. We get in touch with the energy from our own inner self and establish ourselves in our own inner work. Doing this allows us to rise above a little bit above the particular situation to a different level within ourselves. As we make this effort, we can actually feel the change in the vibrations happening within us. Then our understanding of what we are relating to will totally change. We won't give it too much importance, and we won't be out of balance with it. Then it comes from a different level that we encounter any issue and begin to relate to it. We can start dealing with anything from a deeper sense of self-control, which allows us to dissolve any event. Instead of feeding it, at this point, we can start talking. We simply deal with the event and get rid of it and are finished with it. In this way, we save tremendous amounts of time and energy and don't waste it worrying about essentially nothing. Then we have this time and energy to invest in what has the possibility of bringing us real return in our life and an enduring return, a return to the larger field of energy that we are and always have been and always will be. One love, family. Have a peaceful, pleasant night every night, and I'll see you in dreams.